Get started. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. So we are discussing Surah Al-Anam, the cattle, the chapter number 6. This chapter, Allah has been in last 2-3 weeks noticing that Allah is showing you who is in charge. Allah is giving you so many reasons you should believe in Him. And Allah is telling the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, peace be upon him, that you're only a messenger, just like Jesus, Moses, and everybody else. The entire surah encapsulates Allah's glory, Allah's majesty. At the same time, Allah is giving you a reason to think about it. Why do you need to believe in Him? Because Allah is reminding you, giving you so many different reasons. So we're going to continue with the same kind of context in verse number 56. If you have this version of the Quran, and Carlos, maybe we can get a copy for him. So that's a different one, but we can give you another one, and if we can get 2 or 3 copies, inshallah.
What's the page number?
Page number 69, page 69, verse number 56. And again, if you look at the title of this particular verse, there's only one God. And again, if you remember, almost every week I mentioned that this is the biggest hurdle for most of the people, because we as Muslims, are basically, we submit, we surrender ourselves to God, one God. That is the hardest part for human beings, because human beings tend to have egos. When they have an ego, then they try to serve their own ego, their whims and desires. That is the hardest part. Why do I need to do this? Why do I need to stay in these boundaries or these limitations? So here in 56, say, O Prophet, again, this is the style of the Quran. It is actually addressing to us. But this is, at the time, Prophet was there to talk to people over there. And Allah is saying, I have been forbidden. So Allah is asking the Prophet to say, I have been forbidden to worship those who you invoke besides God. Any idea, any kind of deity, Muslims cannot surrender to that idea. Doesn't matter what they do, they slaughter you in Gaza. Doesn't matter what they do. You don't surrender to anything except God. That doesn't mean you don't defend yourself. Of course you defend yourself. Of course you prepare. Of course you take all the precautions, and that is actually a requirement for a Muslim, but at the same time, we surrender to one God. Say, I will not follow your desires and my own desires. In fact, it is called nafs. In Arabic, you hear that term all the time, nafs. And there are 3 types of nafs. And I'm going to talk in a different lecture. There are three types of nafs. Nafs is basically your desires. I want to do this. Everybody's having fun. Go to YouTube, go to Instagram, everybody's having fun. I want to have fun. I want my wife to do this and do that, or my girlfriend in some instances. Then they will certainly be astray and not one of those rightly guided. 57, say, O Prophet, indeed I stand on a clear proof from my Lord, yet you have denied it. That torment you seek to hasten is not within my power. It is only God who decides its time. He declares the truth, and He is the best of judges. So people of Mecca, they say, oh, you declare you're a prophet of Allah? Then bring that punishment. Show us the punishment. Show us the destruction you have been talking about in the Quran. So remember, several years have passed in Mecca, and people are not willing to, most of the people are not willing to, even in closest family members, they are not willing to accept everything. At the same time, they say you're the most truthful, you're the most honest person, but they are not willing to accept. And if last week we read, why they're not willing to accept? Because they say, well, we are the leaders, and you have some of these slaves, some of the people who had darker skin, you want to be equal to them? We cannot be equal to them. So in Islam, remember last week I mentioned that everybody's equal. The only criteria is, you answered this question last week. The only criteria in Islam is taqwa. Taqwa is the only criteria. The skin color, the height, the wealth, your looks, nationality, ethnic background, nothing matters. Nothing matters. So Alex has the same chance to go to the highest level of paradise than Sister Valerie. There's no gender discrimination. Everybody has exactly the same chance. There are no chosen people. Again, I say this with full knowledge. You're not chosen. You still have to demonstrate. So here, they used to say, oh, bring us this punishment. When we are openly denying and defying you, if you have been really sent by Allah, then anyone who denied and insulted you, they're talking to the Prophet, would have been swallowed by the earth or stricken dead by lightning. How is that messenger of Allah and his followers are undergoing untold afflictions and sufferings, while these people who are asking for the punishment, no punishment has. So Allah is answering that question, that it is not, I'm just a messenger, I'm a person. It is not in my control. Allah has a plan for you. And many of these people, they were wiped out. Many of the other people, they became Muslims. So here Allah is saying, He declares the truth and He is the best of judges. 58, say also, if what you seek to hasten were within my power. So Prophet is telling the people, it's not in my power. If it was in my power, it were in my power, the matter between us would have been already been settled. But God knows the wrongdoers best. So when you have a difficulty in your life, brothers and sisters, that is not something you need to frown upon. That is something Allah likes you and loves you. That's why He has raised your status. He's testing you at the higher level. I know I go through a lot of difficulties in my life, and I always wonder, almost every night I wonder, what if I didn't have this difficulty? What if I feel like I have one hand tied behind me and I'm trying to swim in the ocean? So this is how I feel sometimes. But Allah knows the best plan for you. So when you understand, when you trust God with that understanding, I'm not married, I don't have this much money, everybody owns a house, I don't have a house, this, all these reasons. And then Allah actually is reminding you that He has the best plan for you. And Allah knows everyone, where they come from. 59, page number 70. With Him are the keys of the unseen. No one knows except Him. So this is also discussed in a different surah. If you go to page, let me give you the page. Page number.
One of my favorite verses.
Yeah. If you go to page 227, and Surah Luqman, we'll talk about Luqman. Luqman is considered as the most wise human being ever lived on this face of the earth. And he was not a prophet, and he was a darker skinned African person. In Islam, there's an entire chapter mentioning Luqman, which is chapter number 31. We're not going to talk about that chapter right now, but the last verse of that particular chapter is verse number 34, page 227. It says, indeed, God alone has the knowledge of the hour. One. What is the hour?
The day of judgment.
The day of judgment. Only Allah knows. Did Prophet knew the time of the day of judgment? No. People came and asked him, and he had no knowledge about it. Angel Gabriel knows the time of the hour? No. Nobody knows when the day of judgment is. Absolutely. So Allah has the knowledge of the hour, the day of judgment. Number 2, He sends down the rain. This is the sustenance. It's referring to the sustenance. Allah has the knowledge who's going to get what. Whatever earnings you're going to have today, 10 years from now, how much money you're going to have, it is already written down. This is already written down. Allah has the full knowledge. What we do is when we wake up and we go to work, we are looking for that treasure. We are looking. It's just like a treasure hunting. It's already, Allah has the knowledge. He's the most wise and He's the most knowledgeable. And knows what's in the wombs. He knows it's a girl or a boy. What kind of child is that? Number 3. And number 4, no souls know what it will earn for tomorrow, which I already mentioned. And lastly, and no souls knows what land it will die, where you're gonna die. I don't know. I'm thinking about buying 2 graves. I was talking to Brother Salim here in Lawn Forest in Cyprus. I went and looked at them. He has a few graves already over there. I was talking to Sister Rhonda about it, but I do not know if I'm going to die in California. I have no knowledge about it. But if you had asked me 35 years ago, would you be living in California? I had no knowledge about it. How I ended up in California. How Sister Rhonda ended up in California. We have no knowledge. Where we're going to earn our living, where we're going to die. We have no knowledge. So Allah actually is mentioning these 5 keys. We'll go back to page 70. So the keys of unseen, no one knows them except Him. And He knows what is in the land and sea. Not even a leaf falls. This is the trust we have as Muslim in Allah. Not a leaf falls without His knowledge. Now if you say, well, how everything is documented, there are trillions and trillions of leaves and trillions of seeds and trillions of bugs and insects, then you don't know Allah. Then you know somebody else, but you do not know the power of Allah, the knowledge of Allah. The Creator who has created trillions of stars and probably the planets and other heavenly bodies, He is managing everything, not me and you. What do we manage? Nothing. We think we are doing something. We hardly do anything. 50, 60, 70 years and we pass away. We have zero impact on anything. So His knowledge, nor a grain in the darkness of the earth or anything green or dry, but is written in a perfect record. What is the other name for perfect record? What is the name where every single thing is written down? Before the creation of anything, no universe existed. We studied this a few months ago. Nothing existed except Allah. And then Allah created the first thing. What was the first thing He created? Pen. What Allah ordered the pen? Write down everything. Allah told the pen to write down everything. Where did the pen write? The tablet, the Luh Mahfuz, which is basically the perfect tablet. Allah has written down everything. Allah knows I'm going to pick it up, put it down. Allah knows I'm going to pick it up, put it down. Allah knows I'm going to drink or not drink. It is already written down. Now this is where the confusion happens. It means I have no control. Allah already has written down. No, you are not understanding it. You have the control, but Allah has the perfect knowledge. He knows what you're going to do. He knows if you're going to drink or not drink. So don't confuse those two different things. Allah has given you control, but at the same time, Allah has a perfect knowledge about the past, present, and future. Everything is written in the perfect record. That's what Allah is highlighting in verse number 59. Verse number 60, He is the one who calls back your souls by night and knows what you do by day, then revives you daily to complete your appointed term. To Him is your ultimate return, then He will inform you of what you used to do. Now this one, the scientific community, and if you go and search this one, it is called out-of-body experience. Anybody has experienced out-of-body experience? It's called OBE. OBE, there's a lot of research on this one. There are so many papers written, so many books written on OBE. My older brother used to feel this experience all the time. Whenever he would sleep in a bedroom, and I used to sleep in the same bedroom, and during his sleep, he could see other rooms. He could see the neighborhood. While he's asleep, he could experience, and he would tell us the next day, I saw this one, you were doing this in the other room. Now, a lot of people, they have this kind of memory that the souls, they leave their body during sleep. That's what Muslim believe. Allah controls the soul, but Allah returns the soul back when you wake up because there's an appointed time for your death. So Muslims believe the sleep is like a minor death because this is how we're going to experience it. By the way, most of the people die in their sleep as well. Majority of the people in the world die during the sleep as well. So here Allah is saying that when you're asleep, Allah controls your soul, knows what you do by day, and revives you daily to complete your appointed term. Appointed term is your how many more years you have to live. So it doesn't matter you're young or old, it doesn't really matter. I know I make this claim, I have written down when I'm going to die. So I don't know if I'm going to die today or 10 years from now, 20 years from now. We don't know. But at least have a plan. By the way, there are two things I want to mention here. The state you die, that's the state you're going to be living for long periods of time. You die with the drugs, or you die with certain company, with the wrong kind of friends, you're going to be with the same company hereafter as well. So stay away from those kind of, imagine somebody dies doing adultery, fornication. Somebody dies under the influence of drugs. How horrible that death would be. Imagine somebody dies, you are in sajda, you're in prostration and you die in that state. That's Allah's favorite position. Somebody is about to die and they say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. I believe in one God. And I said to Sister Valerie, when her grandmother was dying last month, can your father, she is 99 mashallah, in Colombia, can your father make her say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah? And I'm not sure it happened.
From what I understand, he had asked her like
before as well. So may Allah probably change her heart. We don't know the truth. But that's the state you want to die. You want to die in a state that Allah is pleased with you. So Allah is not pleased with things. A lot of people do things like, honestly, we live very close to the beach. I don't like to go to the beach because I don't want to see naked people over there, male or female. For male, what is your private part? Your aura. Aura is from your belly button to your knees. I'm not allowed to see a thigh or underbelly button, even for male or male. Same thing for women, the entire body is their aura. Other women should not be looking at your naked body or in bikinis and those kind of things. So you have to be careful what state you die. I know I used to do scuba diving, and we used to go deep in and we had a full suit. And but we didn't see anybody naked in that kind of suit. We were fully covered. So number 61, he reigns supreme over all his creation and sends recording angels. So there are two angels recording, one on the right side recording your good deeds, and on the left side recording your bad deeds. And Christian and Jews also believe the same belief system. If you have seen Tom and Jerry cartoons, they show this all the time. So there's a good one telling you do this, and the bad one is telling you do something else. Now even the cartoons, they don't show that anymore. If you go to 70s and 80s cartoons, they show this all the time. Now they don't even show those things because they have other things to show. When that comes to any of you, our angels take their soul, never neglecting this duty. Now a lot of people ask me this question. So many people die same day, and how angel is going back and forth. The distance and time distance limitation does not apply. That dimension does not apply to Allah and His powers and His angels. That is limited to us. The speed of light, it will take me 1 billion years to go from this place to that. That does not apply because time is Allah's creation, distance is Allah's creation. It does not apply. So there's no such thing. And also a lot of people say, well, how in Laylatul Qadr it is morning over here, night over here, and how Allah is, because again, you don't understand. You're using the human lens. You're using the human limitation. Those are the limitations for us who have limited time. There's no such thing. There'll be no time in Jannah. That's why you will never get full. You eat all the things you want to eat in Jannah, you will never get full. You will never get tired. By the way, you will never get sleepy. And my daughter always says, I want to sleep in Jannah. Okay, you want to sleep, but there's no need to sleep in Jannah, in paradise. There'll be no need because you will not have those human limitations. I'm not going to have this body, this physical body. This physical body, I always mention that it has limitations. And Allah will bless you something much, much more beautiful. All of us, will have a beauty of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, Joseph, peace be upon him, and the age of Prophet Isa alayhi salam. So we'll have the absolute most beautiful faces, most beautiful bodies, and most beautiful the way we interact with each others. In 62, then they are all returned to God, their true master. Again, Allah is reminding you, giving you so many reasons to think about it. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. We have 6 months, less than 6 months left in this year, and I can tell you, a lot of famous people are gonna die. A lot of ordinary people are gonna die. A lot of your family members are gonna die. So it is going to happen. This is how humans are. Muslims do not think this is the end of life. Muslims believe it's a transition from one phase of life to another phase. There are 5 phases in life, 5 phases. This is the phase which is the most limited, most temporary phase. This is not the end of life, guys. And you guys saw the series, the Umar Sulman series in Ramadan. That was the whole idea. Do you remember that one? That was the whole idea, that you're just transitioning. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in one of the hadiths, it is like you are traveling and you sit under the tree, under the shade for a short time. This is how life is. This life is very short. The shortest thing. And it hit me. I already knew that, but it hit me the day my mother died. In 2016, my dad and my mother built that house for 50, 60 years. I went back to Pakistan. I gave away every single thing. Every single thing they collected for 60 years. I told neighbors, friends, family, come and take everything. I literally emptied out the house. I said, take even the fans, the air conditioner, the fridge, pick up everything. I gave away every single, except few letters and pictures. I said, take all the cabinets, do not leave anything. Then I actually decided to give the house to an orphanage as well. What I'm saying is, then you realize, and I counted when my grandparents died and my parents died, it was like 31, 32 years. Then I counted when my great-grandfather died and my grandfather died, it was about 30 years. Then I counted, my father and mother died. My father died in 2013 and 2016, I have 30 more years. Typically, when your parents die, you have about 30 years. Go and check it out. 30 years. If your parents are alive, you still have a few more years left. When they die, when they pass away, take the average of their death. If they died in a natural age, add 30 to it, that's what you're going to die. I'm giving you the formula so you understand the temporary status of this life. This life is very short. And then you say, well, I'm only 20-something. I feel I was 20-something just last week. And it passed like that. Just like that. The day I finished my high school, the final exam, 4 of my best friends, they said, we are going to celebrate, we're going to go for a picnic on the beach in Abu Dhabi. I used to go in high school in Abu Dhabi. My parents did not give me the permission. They said, no, you can't go by yourself. You're only 15 and a half years old. And high school over there is 10th grade. After high school, 11th grade is a college over there. So I did not go. 2 of my best friends drowned and died the day after the final exam. So life is very short, brothers and sisters. That's what Allah is reminding us here in this verse. So basically, He will inform you what you used to do. He reigns supreme over all His creation and sends recording angels watching over you. When your death comes to any one of you, our angels take their soul, never neglecting this duty. Then they all are returned to God, their true master. Judgment is alone, and He is the swiftest reckoner. So even when you read this one with an open heart, it is enough for you to change your life. Just these couple of verses, it's enough to understand we're going to die one day. We're going to stand in front of Allah. I don't want to have the embarrassing face. He's going to say 60 years, 70 years, what did you do? Oh, I played in Netflix, watched Netflix and played this and did that and went to every single ice hockey match and football. What is the value you added to his creation? What did you do? What did you add it to your account? Nothing. Watching all the movies and all these series and all these things, what is the value? So please understand, there's nothing wrong having fun, but at the same time, it must be balanced. Number 63, say, O prophet, again, reminding us through the prophet, who rescues you from the darkest times on land and at sea? And I gave an example of Cat Stevens a couple of weeks ago. His new name is Yusuf Islam. And he was drowning in Malibu here. He said, oh Allah, I don't know you, but if you exist, if you save me, I'm going to look for you. And then he became a preacher, and Cat Stevens was as famous as Beatles in 60s and early 70s. And he's a very well-known Muslim. His Muslim name is Yusuf Islam. He alone you call upon when humility openly and secretly, if you rescue us from this, will ever be grateful. So when you're in trouble, when you're really in trouble, you're going through a really difficult divorce, really bad disease, some kind of cancer, who do you turn to? Do you go to a statue and say, statue, save me? You bought it for $30 from a store? Then people realize. But because we are the animals of habits, we have deep habits, and then we also have this ego. We do not want to accept something. So look at the people around us. They think somehow if you have the wealth, it means God is happy with you. This is what the church teaches you. You have the wealth. If you listen to the church channels, that's what they tell you. God is pleased with you. God gives some people and doesn't give to some people, and he tests people differently. Some people are tested with their beautiful looks. Some people are tested with their wealth. Some people are tested with their poverty. God tests people differently. For in Allah's record, everybody's equal. There's no difference whatsoever. If you are a good-looking person, you have a fair skin, you are a white person, or whatever it is, did you purchase that one? Did you get to the store, say, can I have beautiful color? There's nothing you did. So somebody is dark-skinned in Africa. Is that their fault? Did they do that? When you deny those people, you deny God. You're literally denying God. So that's what Allah is saying, that he will, you openly and secretly, if you rescue us from this, will ever be grateful. Say only God rescues you from this and other distress, yet you associate others with him in worship. So here we are, when we go through afflictions, and when we have the good times, when we have the wealth. In fact, when you're wealthy, that's the good time to remember God more. But we tend to forget because then we get busy lifestyle. So, but Allah is saying that Allah will actually make you go through these things. Number 65, say he alone has the power to unleash upon you a torment from above or below you, or split you into conflicting factions and make you taste the violence of one another. So when people actually become enemies to each other, even the family members become enemies to each other, or nations. So how we vary the signs, so perhaps they will comprehend. So Allah is giving you every reason to think about it. There's one God. The last 4 or 5 weeks, that's what we have been studying. Allah really wants you to believe in one God. Allah is giving you every possible reason and every possible logical as well emotional reason to think about it. A couple of more verses and inshallah I will stop. Still your people, O Prophet, have rejected this Quran, although it is the truth. Say, I'm not keeper over you. So you just deliver a message, and if Allah allows them to open up their heart, they will understand it. Don't try to convince your family members, debate with your family members. Present it. And if they continue to say, you are not part of my family anymore, I'm not going to talk to you, let it be. Let it be. You can't force anyone. This is a gift given to you by God. This is the greatest gift you will ever have. If Allah takes away everything I own, but does not take away my iman, I'll be the happiest person. I'm not asking for any punishment. I'm just telling you, there's nothing greater than the faith you have. Nothing will ever match the faith you have. Last verse, inshallah. Every destined matter has a set time to transpire, and you'll soon come to know. Every single thing has a date written on it. So we Muslims believe that the things are going to happen, they're going to happen. At the same time, remember, Allah controls the results. We control something else. What do we control? Starts with E. The next letter is F. And F. We control what? E, F, F. Help me, guys. Efforts. I'm saying you because this will become your permanent memory. You only are responsible for your efforts. Allah is going to give the results. You don't control any results. I don't control anything. If that job is not for you, doesn't matter how qualified you are, you will not get that job. If that person is not meant for you, you will never marry that person. You only control the efforts. And you will be judged not on the results on the day of judgment, on your efforts. Allah is going to say, what did you do? Remember the 5 questions? I mentioned that many times ago. 5 questions. I gave you the youth. What did you do in your youth? Because in youth, you're going to set up your entire life framework. I gave you the life. What did you do in your 60, 70 years? I gave you the earnings. How did you earn? How did you spend? And the last question, I gave you the knowledge. What did you do with the knowledge? Those are the 5 questions on the day of judgment. Those are the 5 questions you'll be. This is mentioned in Tirmidhi, in Hadith, that those are the 5 questions you have to answer. So you should have a reason. I have a little bit knowledge. I was not a scholar. Like I'm not a scholar. But what do you do with that knowledge? Do you benefit people or you harm people? You go in your car and turn on the rap music and F this, F that. Do you do that? Or you learn something beneficial to you? Put something which has benefit to it. Whenever there's a long drive, it makes me happy. I have goosebumps sometimes. You know why? Because I have a chance to listen to a nice lecture. Honestly, I'm not saying I'm an angel in any shape and form. This gives me an excuse. Okay, now I'm away from my wife, 45 minutes, I'm going to drive, so I'm going to listen to a nice lecture.
That's the key.
So I know it's being recorded and I'm going to get into trouble, but this is how you want to think about those opportunities. So my wife is currently in Virginia and Maryland. She's not here, and I was able to achieve so many things, mashallah. So again, when you are with your loved ones, you have a lot of things to do, of course, and vice versa, and vice versa as well. Inshallah, we'll stop here. And today I stuck to my time frame, inshallah, so we'll take some questions and answers.
I just would like